Hi guys, so this episode of TKB is sponsored by Dravidam Official, the official makers of Hindi Tiriyada Poda and many more t-shirts. Please use uh, code TKB to get 50 rupees off of your orders. Thank you.
All right, welcome to TKB Bench live episode number 18. This episode, we have a very special guest, Tenma, the musician. Hello, Tenma.
Hi guys. Hi.
So to start things off, how do you feel how are you right now going through the pandemic and everything as a creator?
Uh, just that various phases came in, like everybody else on the planet. The
Hmm.
period of uncertainty, depression, trying to understand and grasp as much as possible. And I think now it's more of healing and learning,
Hmm.
which what I'm going through. And I've really taken the since I live alone and sort of do things alone. It's a very different process. I've started enjoying my company a lot more. So hanging out with myself seems to be super interesting.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
That's cool. Yeah, the pandemic has definitely taught us to enjoy our company more. And I think it's also, help us understand because we sort of take a second to pause and then understand how we look at things a little more clearly, interestingly, despite this uncertainty,
Hmm.
right? That's really cool about it.
There's also been like this rat race which where we have all been running so fast, and somebody had to put that handbrake and you know just stop for some time, regroup, reassemble, restart all over again. And I've seen like the sudden spike in amount of content creators, and Instagram influencers and like all of these things. And plus, I see also a lot of effort in people trying to push positivity.
Hmm.
All because there's there was and there is still an influx of heavy influx of negative news and fake news and controversy and blame game and all of these things. And there's also like the other end where people are trying to push
Hello?
as positive messages as they can. So that way, I feel like it's a it's a it's a nice. It's the balance is still not there yet of like uh, the binary emotions, but at least it's still battling it out to somewhat come to a state of equilibrium.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it's sort of revived humanity a little bit, right? Everybody is, I think, focusing on the larger picture and things like that. So that's very nice for sure.
Yeah, like as soon as like you take a break, right, you realize what is actually important, what is not. Like you do so many things just because of the flow of doing so many things, and then once you stop doing everything, you realize that what are the things that you actually need to do, and what are the things that you actually
Mm.
like avoid.
This, I feel this dopamine detox is quite necessary during this time.
Yeah.
There's too much of like this Instagram notifications, Facebook notifications. Just keeps your like you get so desensitized. I was talking to my one friend recently, and he was saying how it completely desensitized. You just go on like search and like Instagram. There's like one Instagram model. There's one meme. There's one somebody else thing. There's some violence. There's some news. Like there is no our human emotions. The reaction is has become so weird. And at
Yeah.
one point when like how right now people are, are scared to post anything. They're also am I saying it right? Am I saying something wrong? Is it going to hurt somebody? Because somebody has an issue. But the conversation of the idea of dialogue, and all of that also is missing. But I feel some sort of detox is necessary from a lot of these. So I actually took a detox, like completely deleted like social media apps from my phone, and I just got into my piano and like guitar,
That's
and
nice.
I've
Very
been sort of
nice.
telling that to like people who work with me and friends, and everybody around just to take a like couple of days detox, at least a week. It
Yeah,
really brings back things.
for sure. Yeah, I'm due a detox, so I completely relate. Like I've taken a couple of detoxes before. Like I've been taking detoxes
Mm.
like before it was trendy. So I'm into technology, right? So this was sort of surfacing in like 2015 and all, where like people sort of looking at the ill effects from this perspective, mental health perspective. And then before it became, I think now
Mm.
I think it's become mainstream because so many people are going through it. So I think I took it when I was in 11th
Mm.
grade or something, and like that time itself, I saw like surge in productivity, and like not a drop in laziness, and the activation energy required to do things to significantly go down. Because I think the
Mm.
worst part about the social media thing, right, it's just right there. Like there's zero effort for
Mm.
you to start getting the dopamine rush. So like let's say there are five
Yeah.
things that will give you dopamine rushes, right? Even if
Mm.
the reward is bigger than, like let's say you work out and then that endorphins flow and your dopamine's rushing, the amount of effort you need to start putting
Mm.
into that, uh, and then get the reward versus just tap scroll is just so much, um, is just significantly lower for tap and scroll, that
Mm.
uh, you're just stuck in that loop, and it's a feedback loop, right? You do it and then other
Yes.
people do it, and then it just goes on in perpetuity.
And it
This is,
just builds on insecurity where you start comparing yourself to another person you absolutely don't know. And then you keep
Yeah,
these very high standards. You try to go for these very unnecessary high standards without looking at the
absolutely.
geography of where you're operating and the other person is operating in. And then you get stuck in this thing when you hit like a saturation point before you even really work hard or put or go into that sort of like spectrum of things. Like for example, it wasn't like when I was growing up, like I had to listen and practice through cassettes and then through CDs and then only through, like tabulator and like, all of those things before I could get into like learning music or covering songs or whatever, just learning parts of songs, the then I could get it easily through tabs. Like my ear training started reducing. Like my my ability to listen to something and play was drastically getting destroyed by me just getting the cheat code immediately. So
Okay.
you get it. So that's something which I sort of compare with, like
Yeah.
the effort in which you reach a certain. Your dopamine is so wasted on like comparing and just like getting these unnecessary, uh, you know, uh, immediate gratification that
Mm.
your level of pursuit and determination just starts reducing and focus gets diluted and all of it. I'm
Correct.
not, people can call me a boomer for this, but it's just that I feel we need to just step out of that digital world, go off grid, and then see and look at the grid from being off grid.
Yeah,
hmm.
for sure. Yeah, I
I,
concur.
I agree. Like we're using this technology, right? This is nice. This is a movie documentary kind of thing on Netflix called Social Dilemma, and one of the scariest things that they point out about like social media and everything is that the technology that we are like combating is like so advanced in the human mind that we can't even comprehend it, right? Like
Mm.
all these algorithms and everything. Like a child today, like who wants to get into music, will probably put out a song, and then will be so confused why that they're not reaching the same levels, even though they have like quality and everything that they can see, but they're not reaching the same levels. And all these algorithms and all that, probably they won't like it's like anybody won't understand, right? Even the creators of all this can't
Mm.
understand how it works, and like
Mm.
it's such a
See, the
different
thing is,
time to
half
come
the
into
time,
music.
it's been a very difficult time because it's a lot. I was listening to the Kanye West and Joe Rogan podcast,
Mm.
and he says like thousands of amazing things. So, and one of that is like there are only 1 billion people on the internet, and there are like 8 billion people on this planet. Okay,
Mm,
like 7-8 billion people on this planet, and that's just one
yeah.
third of the population of the planet, right?
Mm,
And
Mm.
one third, we are worried about the one third population, right? And out of which 50% to third, like then I read this other statistics of like how paid promotion and all of these things come from music. So there's like 50, almost 50%, 35 to 50% is like fake news.
Mm.
And there's obviously other things in that other remaining 50%. There's also like, nepotism and all of those other things which work in the game, which is part of the game,
Mm.
right? Which you need to battle through. So people get, I know so many musicians who, like quit music or kill themselves or like, completely got disinterested, who are really talented as well, because of them not trying to, get into the game,
Mm.
like really understand. And there's also very little access to what this music game or internet game is all about. And speaking of social dilemma, it's like it gives you that, it takes you to that rabbit hole
Yeah.
of what you have to perceive, right? And
True.
so so that's the thing. I mean, like people need to really like really take a chill pill for the first 3 to 5 years of their life in any career, as far as like liberal arts is concerned, music, dance, drama, anything. When you are in a very populated country, and there's influx of talent, and like every next door there's some sort of talent who's uploading something. I think
Mm.
you need to really take a chill pill and really, regroup, like I said, assemble these things and, take action rather than, worrying that, oh, I just got 100 views on day one.
Mm.
You got 100 people to watch your video on day one, even if it's 1 minute or 30 seconds or 20 seconds, but you got 100 people's attention. Now,
Yeah.
if you convert that to live, it's still a great thing. If 100 people just came for your show, watched it for 10 minutes, it's still an achievement.
Mm.
It's not like all of these people who get like 1 million hits or 2 million hits or like, I've got like a couple of million hits on my tracks. But if you go, I'm not going to expect 1 million people to attend my event.
Mm.
It's impossible. So I'm not going to keep like I keep like 10% or like, like 1% to 3% if they come for a event. Okay, then it's cool. Or even less than
Yeah.
1%. You just need to understand your ratio and your idea and your, the way you go navigate through in a career.
Yeah. And I
So
also
this
Mm.
is
think
just, yeah, liberal arts as such.
Yeah. And I also think like you need to step back as a creator and be like, okay, you consume so many things, right? Like I listen to Joe Rogan's podcast. I watch like videos on YouTube by YouTubers. If they held an event, will I just go? Because it's so easy to consume these things. You have to
Mm,
realize that okay, I'm just some guy in the corner of the world watching some other person create something in some other part of the world, which is itself beautiful. But if they held
mm,
something, will they be able to convert me into an audience? And I'm like, that's probably not like, yeah, maybe 3 YouTubers for sure, but not all the 40 YouTubers I watch, right? So I think
Yeah.
when you get
mm.
that into perspective, you really become humbled and you sort of see okay, the fact that 100 people listen to my episode doesn't mean that all 100 people come watch. That's like a huge conversion rate.
Definitely. Just
Yeah, and I think
a weird, strange thing. Yeah. And,
yeah,
geography changes also. See, like we are listening to something, say, okay, the most popular pop culture in the world is American pop culture. We
mm,
Mm.
are probably thinking that, they are also listening to Kendrick Lamar. We are also listening to Kendrick Lamar. They are also listening to that. That's completely untrue. Like if you go to LA and California, like there are like lo-fi, Spanish jazz music which goes on, which is like the thing right now.
mm,
You get it? Like here, they don't know what's happening here. They don't know,
Yeah.
like in Chennai, what is the major form of music. Na அது சொல்லவே முடியாது எதுன்ட்டு. ஒரு வாட்டி
Mm.
வாட்டி மாறிட்டு இருக்கும். So
that
so அதான் like the thing what I'm getting at is you just have to battle with your standards first, and then increase your diameter, circumference probably, as
yeah,
to how you expand yourself. instead of initially itself comparing yourself to Drake or J. Cole or somebody that which is like so random. People just do that. Hey, why am I not getting views? You know why you're not getting views? Because you're an idiot. Shut up and sit in the corner.
100%. When Adi and I started, so we like flip a lot. Okay, so when Adi and I started, we're like, okay, we are also going to do this like awesome radical show where everybody can speak openly. Like, where is our views? Where is our audience? And then Flip itself made a video that said, okay, the reason we started this channel is so I think he just they want to annoy 3 people or something. That 50 people watch. So 48 people are just extra in that 48 extra views you got. So we took that mentality. Every views apart, like, so only Adi and I would listen to our own podcast and we'll get 2 views, and every other views we're like, okay, fine, extra.
Extra.
So,
Yeah, it's you won't believe it, for the last 3 years, 3 or 5 years, when I'm like from what I've been in indie from like 2013, Tamil independent music I've been operating from 2012-13. Okay, so from that time, I still don't go and listen to my songs or watch those videos unless and until I really like. People be like, oh, Vasanam is great, or like, Kota's song is great, or all of these things. But I don't go and watch them again. Once it's out there, it's out there. I just don't want anything to do with it after that, because any sort of positive or negative criticism or feedback, it really affects me. Like it blocks me from progressing, because as soon as you count like 10,000 views, 20,000 views, like now I know, like if I upload a song, there is one, like I know, okay, this is what I can do. This is where it can reach. But I don't really care. Like people have heard it. Organic views, inorganic views. Some of my songs, like if it's like under a label or anything like that, I don't even know how it got the number. But most of my songs, at least 99% of my songs, have been organic views.
That's
So
cool.
even those, like, but it's just that it took some time, because I didn't come from the time where we uploaded songs on the internet. We had to sell CDs to make money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I came from that period. 2009, I was trying to sell CDs everywhere.
Okay. So how does that work?
And
Like, actually, like, give us an intro to this indie music world, right? What it is now, and maybe
Yeah,
it
actually, that's
started.
what I wanted to know.
Like when you're saying you need to sell CDs, like, I am just shocked. Like, I'm thinking, oh my god, physical copy. I don't know how. Like, I would definitely. I don't have the confidence to do that. You know what I mean? So how would that work?
No, it's first thing is, you need to be really shameless. Because if you're trying to sell a metal album in Chennai, imagine the amount of, I empathize with a lot. So my first, like 2005 is when I started technically recording. 2003, 4 is when 2004 is when I started performing. So 2005, 6, when I was recording, we uploaded these songs on MySpace and like Reverb Nation and all of those, but we didn't understand, because we were operating at like kbps, like very bad kbps, and we were just distribution still didn't make sense for us. We were still trying to get like a record deal, trying to see if some label picks us up, and we didn't know what is the conversation, everything. And then I played for a band called, after this, my first band called Public Issue. My second band I played for is Blind Image, which is a metal band.
Okay.
So at that point, we had to like, play gigs, save that money, take a percentage, save that money, and produce the album. And obviously, album productions. Um, Thankfully, that time digital productions were also there, and we produced it in the box. In the box, meaning inside a home setup with like program drums and all of those things. And after which, when we invested into getting like a CD printer and all of those things, we had to go and negotiate and put a price tag on this thing. I basically, like, there was like, we didn't know where to upload. I mean, upload to get money, but we had to really have good album artwork. We need to have like liner notes. We need to have like lyrics of the song. You had to have extras apart from the music in that CD. I still have one of those CDs with me. So that album is called Psychobabble. So I had to really go out. There was this one restaurant in Egmore. So I went to the friend of mine. My friend of mine used to wait tables there. So I went there because we got like discounted food because of him. So once we were eating, there were like a bunch of white people, um, and I was like, okay, let me start this thing by selling it to white people. And I had about
Okay.
100 CDs with me.
Hmm.
So I went and sold each album for $50. Okay,
Hmm.
and I said like, hey, my name is this. I put out a metal album. There's absolutely no access to where we can sell this or make money. I'm going to sell this to you. If you're interested, you can buy. If you're not interested, also you can buy because it'll be great for us. So I sold about 3 CDs. Then I remember because that was my first time being a sales guy. So after which, um, we had to put these CDs at like get one person at like at our shows to sell these CDs, and people refuse to like acknowledge or whatever, because immediately the first thing is they'll start like, oh, I'm going to put it on LimeWire and all of those other torrent sites and everything, but they're
Hmm.
doing it out of like the initial like like orgasm they got from downloading a pirated thing.
Mm.
But they didn't mind like killing their local talent for like thing, but I didn't like really care. Okay, just I started like selling CDs like aggressively, and
Mm.
I sold all 100 of them.
Oh wow.
So in a span of like few months though, but it was a
Mas.
task. Like basically we invested from our shows, right? So my band's deal was we'll give each one like 100 series and 5 people in the band. You guys make money from those 100 series.
Hmm.
So how you make with that money is like this a different thing. You can sell one CD for 500 rupees also. I'll sell my CD to my uncle or something for 500 rupees.
Oh wow. Nice.
Then
Very good.
like you just have to understand your potential buyer and like negotiate and like set your price mark from there and like work around it. So this is how we sold.
Mm.
But now it's just upload, and obviously I don't even like get even a fraction of money of what I used to get from selling physical copies.
Mm.
Hmm.
Physical copies still, you know uh, like it still has people buy it because they're taking something away like from you. You're giving them a gift sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the practice of buying buying a physical copy also now come to USBs and like all of those other things. But yeah, it's like if we had an LP record collectors sort of thing, then it'll be really good.
Mm.
But yeah, but still, I even Casteless Collective Magalchi, I have like CDs with me. I still made CDs and I still sold CDs because I still believe CDs can make a change,
Mm.
because you
Yeah.
have to look at a
I like.
CD. Yeah, you
I
have to
like
look at
holding a
CDs as a
physical
separate
copy.
package and like a package and as a gift to your audience who's coming and like uh, listening to you and like all of those things.
Like there's this concept called like 1,000 true fans. Okay, so like wherein they say that a creator like can have millions of followers, but they only need 1,000 true fans uh, to support them. Because those
Hmm.
1,000 true fans will buy into your idea. So like I think something like CDs is definitely something like, especially with like people listening to vinyl records and all now, right? Uh,
Hmm.
Physical copies or like essentially merch, right?
Hmm.
That's beyond a T-shirt. Will definitely, I think creators will definitely start investing in that direction.
Definitely, merch is something which people need to really invest in. See, I've sold the Casteless Collective T-shirt. Okay,
Hmm.
Hmm.
and on the first 2 days after printing, the first 2 days we sold about 250 T-shirts on 2 days. Okay,
Wow.
it's
Hmm.
about like I would say to like from see I've been like doing this merch thing with bands for many years, like almost like 11, 12 years.
Hmm.
Okay, and it's about selling a good T-shirt instead of selling your band.
Correct.
Hmm.
Idea is to make money for the band or artist, and also something they can also really wear it outside, not like just plaster your logo all over the place and make you look horrendous and grotesque and like
Yeah.
It should have some sort of like design and like something to look at. Like you look at Off-White, you look at Easy for that matter.
Hmm.
He sells shoes and he just like went against the music industry.
Correct. Like even local examples, right? Like what Adi is wearing that Hindi Teriya the Poda T-shirt, or like other popular merching. Like there are a lot of good. Like I've seen like a bunch of really good Vadivel T-shirts and all that. Uh, you know, uh, that really just promote the brand of the company making those T-shirt, right?
Yes,
You know,
yes.
right? So I think that merch concept is definitely doing well, and I think definitely in some place like Chennai, where this whole the way we look at cinema and the way we look at something like cricket, much will do very well, and the way we're starting to look at music also. I think like even from I didn't even know what an indie artist was for the longest time. Like I remember the first English song I listened to was "Not Afraid" by Eminem. Like my friends we all came to the computer like, Machan, there's the song, it has the effort in it, and we went to Not Afraid, and then we're like, wow, oh my god, then we turned on the speaker and we were listening to it. But then the first this my next question is, what movie does this song come in? Like this whole the
Ah,
concept of people can just make
yeah.
music itself is one like was one very level foreign concept to me. So
Yeah,
I was
I don't understand. Why these people even made music? If it's not going to be in a movie, why do they even make the music? Was my question. Like, why is Eminem making music that is not in any movie? What is he getting out of this? Like,
That's because the demon சொல்லக்கூடாது. The monster we deal with here is movies, cinema. Inga.
hmm,
It's a monster. You cannot like. For me, I'll tell you, as I one of the oldest. I'll take that thing was one of the most oldest indie artists here. You should not fight against cinema. It's the stupidest thing.
hmm,
hmm,
Like independent artists, liberal arts. It's a completely random thing. You can't because that is an art form altogether,
correct.
hmm,
and it's brought in like it's uplifted lives of people who had no access to a lot of these things, or like it is built tourism. It's built like so much revenue for this country, economy, and all of those things. Like, you need to appreciate it. You can have your separate world, but you should not. That's the like coming back to our previous thing. You don't put yourself in the same, like an independent artist shouldn't put himself in the same position as like a mainstream artist.
hmm,
You battle with your thing. There's this one line I read. There was this photo of this girl who, there's a quote with it, like, I set my beauty standards according to another race. How wrong
hmm.
was I to set my beauty standards according to another race, from another race? It was like, it's the same thing only. You set your standards of achievement according to mainstream artists, you're going to lose. You set your standards, you keep growing, developing those standards, that sort of thing. Sorry, I
Yeah,
digress too much. So
Oh no, this
no,
is
exactly. So, like,
this is amazing.
yeah, I understand. Music is like definitely a problem in India. Definitely for music, I cannot disagree with that. No matter how much
Like
I like movies, it's definitely an issue for
yeah, like
music.
I work both. I do both. So I know the problem between with both.
no,
So,
no,
what
and I
is the
complete.
indie scene in like Chennai? Like, like we hear about the scene in like Mumbai and Bangalore, but what is the music scene like for independent artists in like Chennai? I don't know what it is
Okay,
like.
so you should like be very specific. Which period are you asking?
Like now.
Actually, no,
No,
no. Let's
no.
start from. Let's actually like. Let's like explore how we got here. And the Madri, let's go. So I want to
Ah,
see like.
Okay, let's do that.
hi guys. So this episode of TKB is sponsored by Dravidam Official, the official makers of Hindi Teriya Poda and many more T-shirts. Please use uh, code TKB to get 50 rupees off of your orders. Thank you.
Uh,
So I'll tell you from 1980, I think 1985, 1987, 1989 to be specific. I think there was this concert where technically I would say that is the start of like people coming together rather than bands just performing on stage and going together. So
hmm,
there was one festival where the promoter got like a couple of bands. I don't want to mention those bands who are there, they were very prominent musicians of the Chennai mainstream and like independent music scene who were involved in that particular moment. Okay,
Mm.
so basically, a promoter just scammed a lot of bands, and they were
Oh
all
wow.
stuck in Madras University hall, gonna perform, but there's no money. Okay, the promoter is missing,
Mm.
so they
Ah.
walked some 300, 400 kids from the 80s walked towards like Kilpok, I think YMCA Kilpok or somewhere like that, and those bands performed there for a audience for this audience. They kept the music going. From then they had like undial sort of shows where people could throw in. This is like the earlier
Okay.
like period of busking. Okay, busking is not new. So undial gigs, which basically means you can throw anything like for the bands. There'll be like one Omni or some car from the 80s.
Mm.
They'll throw like alcohol, like money, weed, condoms, random things. This is what
Okay.
used to. I'm saying how it used to be very very different back in the day. Okay, and from there people sort of like there were a lot of great projects which were coming out of that, and which I can't reveal because I hold the secret of 40 years, 40 or 45 years of independent music. So from there I would say the first sort of like earlier forms of independent, like Tamil independent music per se, was like Suresh Peters, who did Minnal, mm, 1992. And
Okay.
you could see that influence of the 80s pop and dance era in his music. And he incorporated like because he was a drummer and percussionist and all of that, he incorporated what he was rooted in, and he delivered that even lyrically.
Mm.
If you see those lyrics were influenced by, like, if these English lyrics met with, if these 80s English lyrics met with the 80s Tamil lyrics,
Oh
that
wow.
there was one point. So it was that sort of like like one type of music which he made. And after which I think think things were just like people are doing here and there, like Malaysian, like Darky and all of these guys were doing some really good stuff, and people were trying out like their own thing. And then from there it moved to I think the Chennai Sangamam brought in a lot of like folk musicians and um, like folk arts to the like to the another to the next level step, I would say. Okay.
Mm.
And then after that, I think the biggest, most like turning point was the La Pongal period. uh, La Pongal, Yodaka, and like
Mm.
harmonized project, most of them
Mm.
like Pradeep and
Yeah.
Darbuka Shiva, Pradeep Kumar, Darbuka Shiva, Kalyani, and like Shusha. There were like some really amazing, like Santosh Narayanan, like really amazing musicians from that period. In fact, I was one of the engineers for La Pongal.
Oh, okay.
So, so, technically, I came back from, I was in living in London for like 2 years, and then I came back to Chennai, and the first project I worked on was with La Pongal as one of the engineers. So while that happened, and then for some reason it dipped and it fell, and then I think the next uh, strong period, because I was also like very I like the idea of like like regional singing through your from your mother tongue, and like
Yeah.
and doing all of those things. So I was trying to assimilate an idea with that, and then I met Kebara Vasagi. He was singing. He was crowdfunding for his album. So both of us met and we did Alagu Puruchi album. Like I produced that album. He wrote and sang on. He wrote and sang on the album. So after which, I think during this time when Kurangan, like some few months later, we started Kurangan, and as soon as Kurangan took off, there was also like other acts which were like putting out music on various platforms. Like Put Chutney had, I think, something to do with music at that point.
Yeah, they
So
had that just died off. Very sad.
yeah, so basically, but I'll tell you the best thing about that period was CNR. CNR, I like we found through that. that period.
Hmm.
So there were other artists who were doing those things, and then what happened was I started bringing like people like this with similar ideas into my studio.
Hmm.
So I was like, we were just exchanging knowledge of what I do and everything and what they want to do, and there was just like a lot of exchange. And from then, like couple of years into that, and people were trying to get the idea of what an independent music is, what being independent is. And there were like other artists like Urka and Kulam, like Pradeep, Janu, Bharat Shankar, Tapas. These guys were doing other
Hmm.
projects like Urka, Kulam, Janu, and all. And while these were all happening, there were other young artists who were just slowly coming up. And what happened was, I think around 2017, we decided like 2007, big like midway through, there was a lot of like I was getting really furious because so I used to handle the main management of Kuranga, like gigs and like all of those things I used to handle. So there was this problem which I dealt with was no club or nobody wants to curate a Tamil act, okay, in Chennai and anywhere else. So there was this there was like this like really angry person in me which just exploded. It started exploding because of frustration. Why are you not curating? Like, give us 10 minutes, give us 20 minutes. I used to like really like some gigs and all. I pursued like every week for 1 year, and I got it also. Okay.
Hmm.
And the same way here also I pursued severely. And then I think a couple of my friends uh, did this thing called terrace jams, and we basically did the terrace jams things with Kurangan. That blew up. And what we did was Kaber and me, we started like doing other projects as well, like Black Sheep series and like other things which people started like appreciating and taking interest, right? So we started getting that internet audience to like work with us. And like we crowdfunded like few times, and like we put out these songs, and people were starting to finally accept there is this music called independent music. Okay, although there are people trying to reject us because it is not how do you say, because most of the time we got so used to like music which is aesthetically pleasing, we forgot the human element inside, the rawness and the darkness of a human inside this inside music. And that people were starting to reject. And after which, during this time, during 2017, I was also like, okay, I put up a post one day about like depression and all of these things, and I said like, okay, let's bring people together. So I people start texting me that I am going through something, and usually I got from directors, photographers, and other people. So I started this thing called Madras Collective, which basically brought musicians from the scene, and I curated the audience and the artists.
Hmm.
So there was like a social like concoction of things where people who are not exposed to this music, a certain type of music, they'll be curated for that type of event.
Hmm.
So you brainwash the audience also to understand it, because I don't want to put up a poster where it's like for like say uh, English artists to like an English audience who are going to like listen to them anyways. I
Hmm.
put like one Tamil artist for like a completely English audience to like white people and like all of these just random audiences, and I want to see what they feel. I had like once we had like a extremely jazz night, which had like children, which had like just really different people, like people are not exposed to this. And you just start doing these social I started doing these social experiments just so that it can expose the mind. Because like see, like whenever I travel abroad, it's like everybody is sitting there for any show. You can like if they see music coming from any human being through an instrument or from his voice or from wherever, they are going to like sit and at least observe for like 2 minutes and then leave. But here we
Hmm.
don't have the practice of even like standing or sitting and watching something. We just immediately on the phone, like on Instagram, we just want to like, hey, I'm at this gig. Okay, you do that thing also, but expose yourself. Like get some not expose yourself. That sounds so bad. I said get some get some exposure with other people and other lifestyle, because independent music comes from the like ஒரு பக்கத்து வீட்டு பையனோட கதையா இருக்கலாம், அவனோட காதலா
Hmm.
இருக்கலாம். It's a story not about running around trees or something like that. It's a story about a guy who's not able to like profess his love for this neighbor girl who's like older than him or younger than him, or like they have some other issues and like something, but these are just interesting parallels and narratives which we are not exploring in our mainstream storytelling. We are just stuck to some templates. So when independent musicians can bring these narratives, can bring these parallels into like the spotlight. And so a few months I was doing Madras Indie Collective, and after which like I started putting the plan for Madras Mede.
Hmm.
Like, okay, let's create a Tamil independent music festival, because we need like a platform for all of these people performing, and like some space where they can, deliver their content, like a small scale exhibition or a large scale exhibition.
Hmm.
So I put like all of these names, but in the Nadula, Kurangan split.
Oh.
Hmm.
So while Kurangan split, I was at home, the same home which I was like been living here for many years. The same chair which I'm sitting on, and I was thinking, shit. I was doing this plan, and I was thinking, chair, நம்ம மட்டும் தான் பேண்ட் இல்லாம போயிடுச்சு அப்படின்ட்டு, we can't perform on Madras Media. சரி ஏதோ
Hmm.
ஒன்று ஃப்ரீயா விடுன்னு அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு I was like மற்றவங்கள அதை பண்ணிட்டுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு பண்ணிருக்கும் போது I get the message from Neelam Culture Center saying that like Paranjit wants to meet you regarding, he wants to form a band, he wants to do this thing, would you be interested in training singers and making a band? I was like, yeah, cool. Let's meet in Solti. When do you want to meet in Kiranga? I'm free even tomorrow. Said, okay, tomorrow come after office. And I met Ranjit. And basically, that conversation led to me forming the Casteless Collective. And the Casteless Collective brought in this huge change, not just in the political spectrum, in woke spectrum, or anything. In independent music itself started changing. In mainstream music, it started changing. Because it's like suddenly there is this union of an independent musician and a mainstream director working towards building the like this band which is unheard of, the idea which is
Hmm.
unheard of.
Hmm.
Because suddenly it's
Hmm.
like Casteless Collective, Ghana, hip hop, politics, Ambedkar, Periyar, honor killing, all of these things are now our songs.
Hmm.
So அது என்ன பண்ணுச்சுன்னா, which helped me to eventually tighten up Madras Mere. That
Hmm.
exploded Madras Mere. Casteless Collective and few other acts on the stage explode Madras Mere. And then in between all of this, through these years, these rappers, hip hoppers were there, and there was Terukural, which started, focusing on hip hop, and a bit slower, like people like Ariva started growing, people like just few other rappers started growing, singers started growing. Now these Ghana singers became the faces of independent music. Like
Hmm.
a rapper became a face of independent music. Like in the Mari, it started changing. Like the idea of independent music itself, you think like, oh, a guy from like say Anna Nagar or T Nagar with an acoustic guitar singing on top of a terrace and singing. And the idea போயிட்டு, it is a new shade altogether. It's a new idea altogether. And after, so what I did is I used Casteless Collective and propelled the idea of independent music larger. So whatever opportunity I could get through like mainstream or through independent spaces, I used both and started setting up these benchmarks for independent music. right now, like right now I've done an official posting on Womex. Womex is like the biggest, like one of the biggest music business conferences in the world.
Hmm.
To even reach halfway through is a, like, it's a task. But I've done an official posting on like 10 questions to Tenma. It's basically that. So basically I've taken Tamil, and I shouldn't, நான் மட்டும் பண்ணதா இல்ல, எல்லாரோட effort, collective effort of people, doing this constantly. And like, you know and right now the scene is like, there is like hip hop on one side, there is like Ghana on one side, there is like, you know groups like, like the internet generation, they are doing some really good stuff. Just everybody is building small ecosystems. Because when I was doing this itself, it's like we wanted a large ecosystem is built on various small ecosystems. So InGen is a small ecosystem. CNR by himself is a small ecosystem. The article culture is a small ecosystem. These small ecosystems, now the Casteless Collective is another small ecosystem. They all come together now as an independent music ecosystem. The revolution has been done, the change has been brought. How far people accept it or not is completely a different ball game altogether. But right now, if you have somebody like an Arivu who sings for Vijay, or like, who's putting like political lines which he uses in like independent music into cinema. Now you see the marriage between how independent music works along with cinema. It's about respecting each art form and working with it rather than just trying to dismantle each other. So I think right now, like after code, it's going to be the golden age of independent music.
Hmm.
There is going to be lots, like, now see Vijay TV is coming out with like, some
Yeah.
music property altogether. Ghana is doing that. Everybody is trying to do something, in their own property altogether, right? Bring an independent music property. Why? Because they realize we don't know when we're going to go for a shoot, but these guys, these independent musicians, can put out these tracks and make videos with like a crew nearby who are like now focusing on music video. Like if you look at Kensman Film Squad, like Ken Royce and all, they specialize in music videos, right? So imagine that in Chennai there is a team which focuses completely on music videos, and there are teams like that focusing on music videos. They can do it in small budgets or big budgets, depending on your budget. They'll work, and they'll give you 3 minutes to 5 minutes of content, like beautiful content. They'll tell you a story in those 3 to 5 minutes. So I think it's imperative right now, as independent musicians, to work really hard and to really look, because now everybody is trying to do independent music. அது ஓகே தான். நிறைய பேருக்கு வந்துட்டு என்ன இவன்லாம் பண்றான் அவன்லாம் பண்றான்லாம் சொல்லுவாங்க. அதெல்லாம் எல்லாரும் பண்ணிட்டோம். ஆனா உங்களோட மனசு தூய்மையா நேர்மையா இருந்து நீங்க ஒரு வேலை பண்றீங்கன்னா, அது கண்டிப்பா அது மேலதான் போகும். அது நீங்க மேல what you've kept as benchmark, it will reach there. So that's my thing. So we have reached a very good point in independent music. There is still like fights and egos and all of those things, like thrashing each other, but that's okay. That's part of the fun, that's part of the game. It's always been an indie thing to fight within each other, but I think keep the fight, but when it comes to growing, I think we need to help each other to grow. So
It's cool.
And this is the scene of independent music.
Like I really fixated upon a few things that you said, especially like, that idea of this is the music where you can actually learn who the artist is and where they've come from. The moment I realized that was the song from Casteless Collective called Kalu Ruba Duttu. So that song, I really felt like it changed my perspective of who are the people around us and the jobs that we do, and realize that those people also have an opinion and how, like, they don't want to be where they are. And it was very interesting to realize that, okay, once these people go into arts, they can convey what they feel, which normally I would not be able to understand, to a way that I can understand, right? Like,
so yeah, tell me.
And another thing is, the identity of Chennai music has always been something very foreign to me. Like it's never been music that I personally relate to. Carnatic music has been the identity of Chennai, but I don't listen to it. But then that is Chennai's identity. And I think like recently this whole concept of this Ghana, the music that I listen to, uh, I don't know. I think it's like films have a definitely a certain part to play with this, like to play in this. I think Atakati really popularized Ghana, and from there, like everybody is listening to it. I don't know. The Chennaiite in me is very happy that everybody is listening to the music that I grew up with.
இல்ல இந்த
So,
கொஸ்டின்ல இந்த 2 கொஸ்டின் கேட்டிருக்கீங்கல்ல, அது பிரிச்சிடலாம். ஒரு கொஸ்டின் முதல்ல ஆன்சர்
okay.
பண்றேன். காலர் ரூபா துட்டு.
Yeah.
ரூபா துட்டு. See, the thing is, ஒரு 400 வருஷமா, ஓகே, மெட்ராஸ் பட்டணம், சென்னை எல்லாமே, அது எல்லாமே எடுத்துக்கிட்டா, the history of Ghana roots there. லைக் எங்க இருந்து வந்துச்சு, எங்க இருந்து போச்சு, இது எல்லாமே போயிட்டு இருக்கு. இப்போ if you take blues and delta blues, like the earliest names which you could come up with like Sun House and Robert Johnson and people like that, who really sang about oppression at that point. And then now what blues is, what blues rock today is, or how the philosophy and culture of blues evolved into R&B and then to hip-hop. Okay, so அதே மாதிரி தான் கானா வந்துட்டு like has also taken those various transformations. கானா எப்படி இருந்துச்சோ அது எல்லாமே டிரான்ஸ்ஃபார்ம் ஆயிட்டே இருந்திருக்கு. அது sometimes it was sanitized, like the way even hip hop was sanitized at certain points. Sometimes it was like completely like ruthless and everything. See, இப்போ கால் ரூபா துட்டு மாதிரி ஒரு பாட்டு வேணா, அது ஏற்கனவே அந்த மாதிரி ஃபீலிங்கோட பாட்டு பல ஒரு 30-40 வருஷமா இருக்குது. ஆனா என்ன மேட்டர்னா, இது ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் இன்டர்நெட்டுக்கு வருது. ஓகே, அதுக்கு முன்னாடி இருந்திருக்கு. ஆனா நம்மளுக்கு என்னன்னா, நம்மளுக்கு ஆக்சஸ் கிடையாது டு கோ அண்ட் லிசன் டு இட் ஆர் கோ அண்ட் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட். லைக் இஃப் யூ லிசன் டு டாக்டர் குணசேகரன் சாங்ஸ், இஸ் ஒன் 80s ஒரு மிக முக்கியமான ஒரு தலித் கம்யூனிஸ்ட் சிங்கர். அவரோட பாடல்களா இருக்கட்டும், இல்லைன்னா நம்ம தோழர் இன்குலாபா இருக்கட்டும், these guys wrote really interesting songs about oppression and all of these things, and they wrote it from the point of the oppressed. Okay, and இது என்ன ஆகுதுன்னா, நம்மளுக்கு வந்துட்டு what was easier to accept, இப்போ like how your opinion about cinema is, although like that's the first thing, எதுக்கு இவங்க இதெல்லாம் பண்றாங்க, எதுக்கு இண்டிபெண்டன்ட் மியூசிக்னா இப்படி பண்றாங்க, அதே தான் இந்த மாதிரி மியூசிக் லைக் ரிபெலியஸ் ஒரு எழுச்சி இசையா இருக்கலாம், அந்த மாதிரி மியூசிக் கம்ஸ் இஸ் பின் தேர். பட் அது வந்துட்டு the thing is the gatekeepers shut it out for many years. They've been doing that for many years. So அதனால நான் என்ன சொல்றேன்னா, கால் ரூபா துட்டு மாதிரி ஒன்று வரணும்னா, it took a long time for it to reach the internet. Okay, and the story, and the thing is like these stories are real. These stories, they're telling you in the most simplest way. See, what is song is just communication. It's what is music, it is just life enhancer. Okay, not really a purpose like during an apocalypse or a dystopian time, right? So how are you going to use this enhancer and this communication device together to deliver your thoughts? In this case, like Kal Ruba Dutta, the story of a manual scavenger, just the plight of a manual scavenger. So இது எவ்வளவு தூரம் சிம்பிளா சொல்ல முடியுமோ அவ்வளவு தூரம் சொல்ல முடியும், and எவ்வளவு தூரம் ரியலா சொல்ல முடியும் அவ்வளவு தூரம் சொல்ல முடியும். Okay, so this is one thing. That's why Kal Ruba Dutta really hit people. A lot of people really felt emotionally, like even like recently when I played a gig in Arakonam, when you play Kal Ruba Dutta, there's a different sentiment altogether, the way people react to Kal Ruba Dutta. So it's also comes down to the simplicity of the truth.
Yeah,
like கொடுக்கிற நிவாரணம் யாருக்குடா வேணும், இந்தாடா ஓன் பணம் எங்க அப்பன் தாண்டா வேணும். Okay, that ends the entire thing. That is the moral of it's almost like the most important crux of that song.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's one thing about like writing songs about these things, and it took a while, but it's you need to keep, when you're writing political songs or like songs about like stories, it's as simple as that. You can even like you can take like other independent songs, like Otta Sever is one song I'll take. Enga nama porom, enga nama pore, enga na, that's it. It's like Muttam Kudukka. Basically, that song is a very, very simple song, which really gets to the point. Even like K.B. Roscoe's lines, they're very simple, they get to the point. See an outline. See, the thing is, நம்ம ரொமான்டிசைஸ் பண்ணாம ட்ரூத் அப்படியே சொல்லிட்டோம்னா அது ரொம்ப ஈஸியா அக்செப்ட் ஆகும். ஸோ அது ஒரு பெரிய பிரச்சனை, லைக் ஃபார் பீப்புள் ஹூ ரொமான்டிசைஸ் அபவுட் இண்டிபெண்டன்ட் மியூசிக். லைக் ரொம்ப மானே தேனே அந்த மாதிரி இல்லாம, லைக் there is this direct like intimate relationship with which is honest and like real, right? So that's where the songwriting of independent music, I feel like all the music should be like really honest and direct, instead of just trying to work for the gallery. You can do that, but also you can have some integrity and dignity while working with the gallery. And coming to
go on.
Coming to your second question about like the sound of Chennai and everything. See, I'll tell you something. I'm not a Carnatic music hater, okay? And generally, it's
not a hater.
No, I'm just no. Generally, I'll tell you from my perspective. The thing is, Carnatic music obviously has its privileges. Has always had its privilege of privileged people selling privileged music to privileged audience. Okay, and they are making it grow. Okay, இது சுத்தி தான் அந்த ஒரு வேர்ல்ட் இருக்கு, ஒரு மியூசிக் அகாடமி, எவ்ரிதிங். ஓகே, ஐ அம் நாட். ஸோ இது என்ன ஆகுதுன்னா, they really, first of all, you need to applaud the fact that Margali festival is one of the biggest festivals in the world, music festivals in the world, the biggest footfall, and they really did doing something to take this music forward. It is still coming from this region, and it's coming from a lot of people who are in this region. A lot of people are employed, the musicians, the singers, எல்லாருக்கும் they have their thing. என்ன ஆச்சுன்னா, நம்ம ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிள் சொல்றேன். இது நான் யூஸ்வலா கொடுக்குற எக்ஸாம்பிள் தான். இது தமிழ் இண்டிபெண்டன்ட் மியூசிக் மட்டும் இல்ல, ஜென்ரலாவே பீப்புளுக்கு இருக்க ஒரு there is this hypocrisy we all deal with. இப்போ நல்லா தமிழ் பேசுற பையன், ஓகே, ஐ மீன் தமிழ் பேசுற ஃபேமிலில இருந்து ஒரு பையன் இங்கிலீஷ் மீடியம் ஸ்கூல் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் போறான். இங்கிலீஷ் மீடியம் ஸ்கூல் போகும்போது ஒரு வாட்டி லேட்டா போயிட்டானா, பிரின்சிபல் கிட்ட பேசணும்னா, அந்த பிரின்சிபல் கிட்ட பேசும்போது எக்ஸ்கியூஸ் as to why he is late, and they have to bring his parents, and he'll be completely embarrassed. He'll be completely embarrassed about bringing this Tamil speaking parents. There is like one, I'm not saying everybody, most cases it's been like இவங்களுக்கு எதுவும் தெரியாது, நானே பண்றேன்ட்டு. There is embarrassment இப்போ, ஏன்னா now he is like embraced ஆங்கிலம். Okay, so now he doesn't want to shy away from, he's a little embarrassed about where he comes from. He's like hiding the truth. அதேதான் இங்கே நடக்குது. இப்போ if the people who are projecting Carnatic music as the sound of Chennai don't want to like have been hesitant to take people who play Tawil or Parai or like Nadaswaram onto this thing, because the artists who come from these privileged sectors who are working in this like emotional and cerebral music, they are easier to deliver that, to show technical prowess or aesthetic or great clothing and all of those things, compared to a person who's not going to half of them he doesn't have a slipper. Okay, there is this stigma attached to what should be presented and what is not presentable. The truth is that guy doesn't have a slipper, that is the truth. That guy doesn't have a shirt, that's the truth. deliver that on stage. Deliver that. So in the sound of Chennai, இதெல்லாம் எல்லாமே என்ன ஆகுதுன்னா லைக் இப்போ நார்த் மெட்ராஸ் எல்லாரும் இப்போ லாஸ்ட் ஃபியூ இயர்ஸா தான் வந்து இப்போ எல்லாரும் நார்த் மெட்ராஸை கட்டி பிடிச்சிட்டாங்க. சரிங்களா? பாதி பேர் அது வந்துட்டு உடனே நான் வந்து ராயபுரம்ல இருந்து தான் என்னோட ரூட்ஸ் வண்ணாரப்பேட்டை தான் ரூட்ஸ், அதெல்லாம் ஒண்ணுமே கிடையாது. அப்படி ரூட்ஸா இருந்தா அதுக்கு என்ன பண்ண, அதான் மேட்ரு. And it's basically if I'll tell you, if the North Madras guys and the South Madras guys, if they were literally black and white people, right? You see, would you feel like strange if like there is this cultural confusion which happens with the South Madras guy suddenly becoming a North Madras guy? Just so that he can be socially, politically relevant.
Yeah,
it's okay who you are. I'm saying it's okay who you are. You want to be that privileged, you want to be that upper class person, you be that thing. Be truthful and be an ally to this entire thing, instead of trying to come here and trying to act like Jesus entering into like serving bread and wine. That's all unnecessary bullshit, saying that that's completely, you just need, that's the thing about music. It's here it's very complicated to even like talk about like caste and like in this liberal atmosphere and like caste and like class division. It's so, because it's like you have to, unless and until a person opens their mouth, you don't know who they are, where they're coming from, what is the story behind this thing. Okay, and it's about playing a role in this entire in this political spectrum, so to say. So அதே மாதிரி தான் இப்போ வந்துட்டு இப்போ கர்நாடிக் மியூசிக், கானா, இது எல்லாமே I believe all of it belongs to the sound of thing, because at one point this is only represented as sound of Chennai. That doesn't mean now it's our turn to become this. அதெல்லாம் கிடையாது. You are also sound of Chennai, I am also sound of Chennai, we are the sound of Chennai. Okay, let's all of us do this thing together, because we are now looking at equal level playing field. Ipo Carnatic musicians, not all of them are like earning in crores or like adala kadeve kadadla. There are also people who are going for kacheri getting 5,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees a gig and coming back, and adala then they are living their life. That doesn't mean I'm going to go and stab his face and kill him and like take his gig and come back. That's not going to happen. We are looking at an equal level playing field. We'll just give that equal, we'll just have to moderate and balance it out, you know, and like get equity in this entire aspect. I'm saying give some funds, please help raise funds for, you know, like parai artists, raise funds for folk artists. Like there are like 300-400 folk forms in Tamil Nadu, Magudam, Naiyandi, you know, Periyamelam. There's so many things. எவ்வளவு பேர் கேட்டிருப்பாங்க. நம்ம எல்லாம் பேசுறது சென்னை மட்டும்தான். We are not literally talking about Tamil representation. We are only talking about Chennai representation.
Correct.
Tamil representation போயிட்டோம்னா தமிழ் ரெப்ரசன்டேஷன் போயிட்டா லைக் நார்த் தமிழ்நாடு, நாமக்கல் என்ன நடக்குதுன்னு நம்மளுக்கு தெரியணும், அதே மாதிரி சவுத்ல என்ன நடக்குதுன்னு தெரியணும். அந்த ஃபார்ம் மியூசிக்கும் எப்படி மாறுதுன்ட்டு. இப்போ ஐலசா இது எல்லாமே சவுத் ரெப்ரசன்டேஷன். இப்போ ஒரு மீனவர்கள் இதுல இருந்து ஐலசா அந்த மாதிரி பாட்டு வரும். நார்த் போனீங்கன்னா நீங்க அதுக்கு ஏத்த மாதிரி துடும்பு அந்த ஆட்டம்லாம் வர ஆரம்பிச்சிடும். ஸோ பேசிக்லி ஹியர் instead of keeping our circumference a little bit, I feel like we can expand it and we can see where it goes. And in fact, like Ghana itself, Ghana comes from Kunnakudi Mastan Sahib, who's a traveler. சரிங்களா? Ghana is Hindi word தான், அந்த உருது word தான். ஓகே, நம்ம அதே இப்போ சடனா வந்துட்டு இப்போ வந்து இதுல ஒரு கன்ஃபியூஷன். இப்போ நம்ம வந்து அதை பார்த்து ஹிந்தி தெரியாது போடான்னு சொல்ல முடியுமா? சாரி பாஸ், இதெல்லாம் இந்த நாடே வந்தேரிகளோட கட்டின நாடுதான். அதான் வந்தேரிகள் கட்டின, அது உலகமே வந்தேரிகள் தான் கட்டி.
இல்ல எல்லா நாடுமே ஐ பிலீவ் ஒரு ஊர் வந்து லைக் தமிழ்நாடோட இந்த பியூட்டி ஆஃப் சென்னை ஒரு தமிழ்நாடு இஸ் that idea of வந்தோரை வாழ வைக்கும் நாடு, யார் வந்தாலும் பரவாயில்ல, எங்க இருந்து இருந்தாலும் பரவாயில்ல, it's something that not many places can hold on to, that we are home to any refugee மாதிரி
இதுக்கு. ஆனா ஐ திங்க் அதுக்காக அடிச்சு துரத்தணும் இல்லை இருக்கிறவங்கள.
அது but predominantly they're very nice people who have nothing.
Predominantly நம்ம சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கோம், சிம்பிளா கேக்குறேன், தமிழ்நாட்டுல தான் இருக்கிறோம். We will take northeastern folks, okay? Our mindset towards general mindset is massage parlor, அதுக்கப்புறம் இது மாதிரி ஒரு few things, waiters, the way we treat the people who have been living here, you know, or like how do we treat people from you know various Burmese, Muslims, எல்லாருமே எப்படி நம்ம ட்ரீட் பண்றோம்னு பார்ப்போம். தமிழ் உருது முஸ்லிம்ஸ், தமிழ் லைக் அந்த உருது பேசுற முஸ்லிம்ஸ்னா எப்படி நம்ம ட்ரீட் பண்றோம், எப்படி நம்ம இது பண்றோம், இதுதான் இது ஒரு கம்ப்ளீட்லி டிஃப்ரெண்ட் கான்வர்சேஷன் ஆல்டுகெதர். வந்தோரை வாழ வைக்கும், வந்த உடனே அடிச்சு துரத்தாது, அதான் மேட்ரு. So I believe that we can live in இல்ல I'm just saying இது வந்துட்டு we need to expand our horizon a little bit on this specific conversation. Because I believe I would like everybody's story to come out.
Yeah.
What do they really feel? இந்த நாடோட கடைசி குடிமகனோட குரல் தான் ரொம்ப முக்கியமான ஒரு குரல். அந்த கடைசி குடிமகன் யாருன்னு தான் இப்போ கேள்வியே. மகனோ மகள்.
ஆமா.
சாரி, சம்டைம்ஸ் நான் ரொம்ப மேல் சென்ட்ரிக்கா பேசுறேன், நீங்க என்ன செக்ஸிஸ்டா கூட நினைச்சுக்கோங்க, பட் அது ஃப்ளோல வருது. I'm sorry about it.
நான் அப்படி நினைக்கவே இல்லை.
Yeah, but yeah, I just want to talk about a couple of things you touched பண்ணதுல. When you said simple straightforward சொல்லணும்ல ஒரு சாங்னா என்னன்னு, that is so true, especially with something like Kota, for example. That song really hit to me. That's one of my favorite songs in the album. Like I think I keep drawing this parallel to English indie music because something I never got. And எல்லாரும் இங்கிலீஷ், என் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் இங்கிலீஷ் பாட்டு தான் கேட்பாங்க. ஸ்கூல்ல I'll pretend to listen to English music. That kind of a person I was. நீங்க சொன்ன மாதிரி தான். I'll be ashamed, so I'll be like, oh, I watch English movies, I watch English songs. Yeah. So that story hit me really well. So then when that happened, for the first time, I think maybe for lack of a better example, HipHop Tamila released this song, album called Tamila. அதுல வந்து he did this one song called Tamilanda or something like that, where that time the concept of a Tamilan as a identity, அதுவே எனக்கு like still I'm not fully ready to grasp it, but I don't know if it's healthy or not, but that song is actually speaking to me. அது வரைக்கும் என்ன, okay நீங்க சொல்ற aesthetics, okay the song sounds nice, like for the longest time I didn't even listen to the lyrics of the songs because I thought they were irrelevant. என்ன பாட்டுனாலும் அதுதானப்பா வரப்போகுது அந்த மாதிரி ஆயிடுச்சு. So for the longest time I just be listening to the tune and or whatever that the aesthetic presentation. There was the longest time, okay, I realized that, okay, wait, what this person is saying I'm able to understand. First of all, the language barrier isn't there for me. I can understand what they're saying, and they're saying something that they're sort of answering questions I have. I may disagree and agree with their answers, but they're answering. Like it's not just like என்ன சொல்றது, நான் உன்னை அங்க பார்த்தேன், நீ ரொம்ப அழகா இருக்க, ஐயோ எல்லாம் என்ன சொல்றது, ஸ்லோ மோஷன்ல மியூசிக் வருது, ஸ்லோ மோஷன் நடக்கிறேன், அந்த மாதிரி எல்லாம் எதுவுமே இல்லாம these were real there were stories being told. It's a better way to put it. There's the stories being told. And then I think really for the first time, I think I came back from abroad and then I was here for like 2 months now. Then Adi only told me, listen to the song called Vada Chennai, and I'm like, wow, like I'm understanding this song. Like otherwise I'm actually willing to listen to the lyrics. And then I listened to like Terukural album and I'm like, okay, I think for the first time these stories I'm actually willing to listen. First of all, in the songs lyrical stories, because they're actually there for right. And I think that itself for me, this Tamil indie scene is so valuable for me just because of that, because I am able to at least understand what is happening and connect with this music for the first time. Ellarum in the all these musicians I see the interview, like, I'm connecting to music அப்படிலாம் பேசுவாங்க, எனக்கு அது புரியவே புரியாது. Okay, are they just talking about the flow of the then I actually understood, oh, you can express yourself through these rhythmic formations. And then now when I listen to English music, I sort of get it. Okay, so I think that localization of this concept, I think that is that is a important role, especially Ghana music plays, because Ghana music or this kuttu song, folk songs, and other கேட்டு நான் வளர்ந்திருக்கேன். That aesthetic of the music, when stories are being told in that direction, it's easier for me to understand. And then now when I listen to a rap song or Kendrick Lamar, I'm like, okay, fine, this is their aesthetic, but this is what they're saying. So then I can sort of angirund I can pull it. I think that's a very important role Tamil indie music has played in my life. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's generally write a simple song. The most ஏன்னா நமக்கு காம்படிட்டிவ் மைண்ட் இருக்கனால trying to better at each other as to how many words I know, how many things I know, how intelligent I can say this. Instead of saying it intelligent, just say it normally. And it's more difficult to say it in a very normal sense, like rather than like contract, right? If the more complicated words the contract has, the more you're not able to understand the relationship between both the parties. The same way, songs shouldn't be something I don't understand, and like the audience also don't understand, and they're just listening to it because it's got great music. That doesn't even make sense in any angle. Like, see, in the works of Sanjay Subramaniam, the Carnatic singer, I really like the way his words are delivered, and I sort of listen to it like once in 2 days. I have like one hour, 1.5 hour session of like just absorbing Sanjay Subramaniam's voice and the way he delivers songs. Adhe mari, in the side la, Ghana has always been a tradition which followed simple words, simple stories. Yeah, அது வந்து மனசுக்கு டைரக்டா அட்டாக் ஆகும். Okay, and I started understanding these simple things only from people like Marvin Gaye and like Stevie Wonder and like Michael Jackson, and these guys who wrote these words. Simple, simple, simple. Our line எடுத்துக்கலாம். Heal the world, make it a better place. Okay, it's just that's it. The line ends there. Then there's a song called "What's Going On" by Marvin Gaye. Mother, mother, there's far too many of you crying. Brother, brother, there's far too many of you dying. Okay. Now the entire thing talks about police brutality and the violence inside and everything. Okay. Adhe maridha, songs, the more simpler the songs, with you can have your vocabulary on one end and you can have your device. The vocabulary is just another literary device on it, like additional literary device, not like something which needs to be the main center of everything. It's like me trying to do this complicated harmony or anything like that. Nobody's going to understand. What are they going to understand about that? I mean, I need to make it simple. கூவநதி ஓரத்துல குடிசை நிறைய எடுத்துச்சான், நம்மள அடிச்சு போலீஸ் ஊரை விட்டே விரட்டுச்சான். அவ்வளவுதான். That's the story. That's what happened. இதுக்கு சப்போர்ட் பண்ண ஆளுங்கெல்லாம் யாரு? நம்மளோட வரி பணத்துல துண்ணு இரண்டா சோறு. So it's as simple like Kota song. கூலிக்கு மாரடிச்ச காலம் எல்லாம் போச்சுடா, காலுக்கு செருப்பு வந்து ரொம்ப நாள் ஆச்சுடா. Okay, that talks about like what you've been doing, what has been happening, what you've been failing to acknowledge, and what am I asserting.
Yeah.
You get it? It's the thing is, the younger independent artists, there's a lot of like younger mattolla overall away, even the older people, they need to really get into the like the philosophy of what you're delivering. The concept should be great and everything around it will just flow. Like even when I did Marley, the song Marley, it was just a tribute to Marley, but it was just simple, because people have this preconceived notion about Marley is just a stoner, it's just this, is that. No, he's an iconoclast. Okay, iconoclast. Okay, and I want to deliver that thing through that, and I can only do it through a simple word so that it hits into it. That's why you probably like what these Tamil independent music has done. I think the songwriters who have been sort of like really essential in putting a very very strong foundation. I think one of the most principal people would be Keber Osaki. Okay, to really put a strong foundation. Arivu did a really strong foundation. CNR has done a really good foundation. Pravek has done. These people are involved in making. They push themselves to write these very strong and like very simple way of communicating that you are able to accept it. And see, if I listen to I grew up listening to English music and Tamil music. Okay, for me, I was just like certain songs I don't even understand. I'm like, what is even happening? Okay, like who's he talking to? And then you research. Why localization works is that you understand the story. At some degree, okay, இதுதான் இந்த வழியா இருந்திருக்கும்ட்டு நிறைய பேர் என்கிட்ட வந்து கோட்டா சாங் வந்துட்டு நான் இங்க மட்டும் இல்லை சென்னை மட்டும் இல்லை குவைட் when I played last year when I played in Kuwait played Kota song, one person came to me after the thing, came to my hotel and told me, he's like, why you putting like a little aggressive? I'm like, he's a 60-year-old gentleman, but I told him at least that made you come and talk to me about it. So so it's essential we put those. Sometimes, like Tom Waits says this beautiful line, which I completely believe. It's about telling bitter truths in beautiful melodies. So
that's really parallel.
So that it's a very subconscious attack. It's a psychological attack. Lyrics play a very, very subconscious psychological attack. It's to build that dialogue and conversation, because caste and all of these things are a state of mind, right? It's a it is a systemic thing, but right now we are dealing with more to do with the psychological state of mind at which caste operates now. நம்மளுக்கே தெரியாமலே will be like casteist behavior things, patterns you might be showing. That's because we are all growing only, and I think everybody needs to be given a chance to grow in this thing. உடனே cancel பண்ற முடியாது. If they are like casteist at one point, they might change. They will change. You need to give them that freedom and education and all that for them to change. But it's a psychological state of mind.
Correct. Yeah, I think bitter truths in nice melodies, like or pavaka ice cream madri. That's what you're saying.
My god, why did you just make it like really bad?
Oh my
Pavaka.
god. What the hell?
Yeah.
காஃபில சக்கரை போடுற மாதிரி. காஃபில சக்கரை போடுற மாதிரி.
அப்படி கூட வச்சுக்கலாம். I think both are equally bad.
Oh my god.
No, but like Albert Einstein said, right? If you can't explain,
But somebody should make power.
You don't understand it well enough. That's, I think, right? If you can just chumma using your vernacular and putting or var level varthigal, and then using metaphors and sort of sometimes you need to get to the point so you can start telling the story. I think that you're absolutely correct. Yeah.
And I believe that everybody has the talent to write. Everybody has the talent to make music. As long as you have a heartbeat, you're a musician. Okay, it's still going at 72 BPM. So you just need to deliver it, truthfully deliver it. Remove all the distractions, deliver it. Just tell the truth. It's okay if it's bad first time. That 15th time it won't be bad. 5 days if you practice drawing, 6th day you can draw a proper face, decent, allow it. You just need to keep practicing it. It just comes out, and matter. You can make words. Like half the songs I have like words made up through the entire thing. I did this thing in Marley. There's Marley ki Majli. There is not even a word like that thing. That word felt nice.
Yeah.
Marley ki Majli is a term they use in North Metal. Marley ki Majli is a term which they use for like say like this fried rice was Marley ki Majli. And the ponnu Marley ki Majli. That's how it's been thinking. So I just like reappropriated the word with Marley ki Majli. Be a Marley.
Okay.
Rather than using it. So you can just make words. Who's there? Like if it sounds good, it sounds good. Sounds shit, it sounds shit. That's it.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Even like, Mugamudi, the track, it has like Sila Ale. There's Mugamudi. It's like Sila Ale Morate Buddhi Sali. It's grammatically wrong. Sila article than varno.
ஓகே எனக்கு அது கூட தோணல.
Yeah, art,
அதான்
right.
it's grammatically wrong, but it works. No, Mugamudi. It gets to the point. So you
Yeah.
can get to the point driving and like riding whichever you want to, and finally you just have to reach the destination peacefully. So
that's cool. Very lovely. Yeah. And I think again
And
the sound of Chennai, right?
Ratatouille சொல்ற மாதிரி you know, like what I'm saying is like Ratatouille, they say, right? It's not like anybody can be a great chef. It's just a great chef can come from anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That line really changed me. Like,
yeah, correct.
That movie also changed me.
Yeah, like I think early life that impact of just do hard work or believe in yourself, that really get like I think it's also a testament to how art form can actually have impacts on people. Like what, some 6-7 years old when that movie came out, like it still has an impact on me till today.
6-7 years old. Ayo, how like you guys just made me feel so old now. ஒரே டயலாக்ல கதையை முடிச்சிட்டீங்க.
ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பால்லே 6.
சிறப்பு. ஒன்னும் பிரச்சனை இல்ல.
No, but the sound of Chennai thing, I want to explore that a little bit more because you're so correct. I didn't listen to Carnatic music when I like no, Carnatic like nothing there in my life. Like you said, it was closed off sort of. Like you said, it's only set for particular people and they grew it with them like or insular culture mari dana. So I actually was like when I learned Carnatic music is like the celebrated art form. The longest time it was a meme for me. சும்மா எல்லாரும் ஆன் கத்திட்டே இருப்பாங்க அந்த மாதிரி தான். ஸ்லோகம் பாடும்போது ஒரு ஆன் கத்து like it was a meme only for me. And then I thought, oh, people this is revered or some cultured stuff like in the 3-piece button-up suit of Tamil Nadu basically. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு oh wow, okay. So I ஒரு 3 days I did on total 180. I'm like, okay, let's find out what this is about அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. Then I think like the real interest point for me was this band called Agam. I'm sure you've heard of it. So like they do Carnatic music, but like with like rock introduced. Like, oh wow, this is like that Indian aesthetics will be there. But I think it was far more approachable to me than like some 20-minute, I don't know, 20-minute song in Carnatic music. So like I think so something I really want something like that. Like especially when you say like this, the sound of Chennai is that and this, I completely agree because I listen to these bands called like Pakshi. And then Gagam and all, right? They have like this, and even Yodaka to them, like very contemporary Indian aesthetic solo songs. And like, in fact, like most of these songs I don't even understand because I don't know the language. But it's just a very unique aesthetic for me. And I think like I've told Adi also, like imagine like a Carnatic song, like a very traditional Carnatic singer, like Sanjay Subramaniam and the Madri. But instead of Mridangam, there's like a para or அந்த மாதிரி like it'll just be வேற level. Like I can't even imagine it. That's how crazy this sounds to me, right? And I think that's like
அப்படினா கேப்பேன்.
இருக்கு லயா ப்ராஜெக்ட்ல லைக் லயா ப்ராஜெக்ட் இது வந்திருக்கு இது மாதிரி முன்னாடி லைக் தமிழ் இது மாதிரி வந்திருக்கு முன்னாடி லயா ப்ராஜெக்ட் வழியா வந்திருக்கு. The thing is right now the present see I have like really great Carnatic music friends. Like really good. And in fact, I got to Carnatic music through Sufi actually. I went in a weird direction to get into. So I went to Sufi, then I went to Hindustani, and then I came to Carnatic. Because I just took a route which was like, for me, like something I wanted to enjoy this music. And now I listen to, when it's a Carnatic music time, I listen to Carnatic music. I study Carnatic music as well. I have like a guru, that sort of like situation also is there in my life. I'm learning Carnatic music. All of that is there. It is just that we just need to involve ourselves into that music. It's not like everybody is there like trying to, as soon as you enter, they're going to throw you out. That's not going to happen. It's just that we need to have a dialogue. And the thing is, they are not the enemy, or they are not the enemy for adhalam kedave kedave. See how you took like Agam to reach Carnatic music. I took the Sufi route to reach Carnatic music. அது இப்போ இந்த ஆலாப் பண்றதோ இந்த எவ்வளோ it is a very complex form of music. Now when I'm like really understanding it from the compositional aspect, it's a really complex form of music, but it's also like எப்படின்னா how Johann Sebastian Bach like nurtured the way of new through the Baroque period, how we made Western classical. Carnatic music also is making sense in these ragams and how structure of these songs are. There is a limitation of like in Western classical, there's a limitation at which we can explore a song. But if you're really like a music aficionado or like somebody who really wants to get in the depth of it, Carnatic music study is like a very good gateway into understanding regional music as such, like even folk music and how they are think. See, இப்போ பறை வாசிக்கிறவங்களோ இல்ல folk வாசிக்கிறவங்களுக்கும் there is a different format of learning thing as well. My என் பேண்ட்ல இருக்கவரு நந்தன் பறை மியூசிஷியன். He says ஒரு நடையும் அப்படி இருக்கேன். ஸோ அந்த நடை ஒரு முக்கியமான ஒரு மேட்ரு. ஸோ நடை எப்படி இருக்குன்ட்டு இன்னைக்கு செத்தா நாளைக்கு பால் தக்கத்த டக்கன் தக்கத்த டக்கன் தக்கத்த டக்கன் that is the இன்னைக்கு செத்தா நாளைக்கு பால் இன்னைக்கு செத்தா நாளைக்கு பால். It's a funeral beat. See how study and like studying something which is completely new in various places. அதே மாதிரி தான் I feel like Carnatic music is a good gateway to study. அதே மாதிரி you need to go through all of these things through really understand like where they're coming from, and it's very essential to have like an unsanitized way of approaching this thing. If unsanitized, even if it's a word, is it a word? Is it desanitized? Sanitized seems to be the word of 2020.
Not sanitized.
I mean, if we use it and somebody understands, I think it's a word. I think that's enough.
It's like marliki.
Unsanitized. எனக்கு புரிஞ்சிச்சு.
Marliki majalki. Am I getting it wrong? I think
marliki majli. Marliki majli.
Marliki majli. நாளைக்கு நம்ம சொல்லி 4 பேர் புரிஞ்சா அது ஒரு வார்த்தை அவ்வளவுதான்.
Human communication 101.
Yeah. Correct. No, but நீங்க சொன்னீங்களா, I don't really think it's like scenario. No, but
I'm sorry?
I don't think it's like a you versus us scenario that I personally felt. For me, it was very like it was this breaking bread kind of thing where like first time you go to a fancy for a restaurant, like you don't know if you should use a knife or a hand, and the madri thing. It felt like very. I think that's the thing. I think again, I'm sure maybe that's how someone who probably grew up listening to Carnatic music will feel if they like listen to Ghana music, right? Different cultures, so it's like a small culture shock and all of that. But I think something like Agam and all is really helping that way. Assaulta, it just got me in or like 2-3 weeks I found out who Sanjay Subramanian is, who TM Krishna is, and the madri. So I think that way very quickly things developed. That was very nice.
It's just the access time. If Ghana access vandadhe nare perku Ghana access nare perku vandadhe Casteless Collective மூலமா. அதுக்காக Casteless Collective தான் Ghana கண்டுபிடிச்சதெல்லாம் கிடையாது. அதே மாதிரி ஹிப்ஹாப்க்கு நிறைய பேர் கென்ட்ரிக் லமார் வழியா வந்திருப்பாங்க. அதுக்காக டூபாக்கோ பிகியோ இவங்கெல்லாம் இல்லைன்னா கிடையாது. If you like something, just explore it. It's an adventure only, exploring the story.
Correct. Yeah.
அதுக்காக the old school is best, new school is shit எல்லாம் கிடையாது. எல்லாரும் அவங்க வேலையை பண்ணிருக்காங்க, அவ்வளவுதான்.
I agree, completely agree.
எல்லாரும் அவங்க வேலையை பண்ணிருக்காங்க. Everybody's put in effort. Everybody is a human being, so give them that credit. At that moment you are great, thank you, but you are not the founding father of anything.
Yeah,
it's just
like Newton is solvarla, like Newton itself says I rest on the shoulders of the other big legends.
Whoever's giving you that access, who was like bringing you into that, adu yaar vena irukla. It can be the worst artist from that genre, or it can be the best artist from the genre. It can be anybody, or it can be somebody who fuses, like in a case like Agam. So Arnal, it can be anything, as long as you understand where it's coming from, it's fine. Or if you don't want to also, it's fine. It's up to the person, individual.
எது வந்தாலும் பரவாயில்ல. கேட்டா
எது
சரி.
இருந்தாலும் பரவாயில்ல.
கேட்டா சரி.
கேட்டு டிக்கெட் வாங்கினா
கேட்டா
சரி.
கேட்டு டிக்கெட் வாங்கினா சரி. யா
சிறப்பு.
தமிழ் ராக் கோர்ஸ் இஸ் கான்.
நீ என்னடா நல்லது தானடப்பா அதெல்லாம்.
இல்ல டிக்கெட் வாங்கணும்னு சொன்னானே எனக்கு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் தாட் தமிழ் ராக்கர்ஸ்.
தமிழ் ராக்கர்ஸ்லாம் தெரியல.
விஷால் இவ்வளவு வருஷம் கஷ்டப்பட்டு கடைசியில ஜெஃப் பெசோஸ் வந்து பண்ணிட்டு போயிட்டாரு
அமேசான் பிரைம் வச்சுக்கிட்டு. But yeah. But I have a question. Now you do like film music, right? So how did like how different is that? Or like what, like when you come from indie music, is there like some preconceived notion of you, or like are you allowed to do things, not allowed, like வந்தோடனே சொல்லிடுவாங்களா சார் ப்ளீஸ் கொஞ்சம் பார்த்து பண்ணுங்க அந்த மாதிரி?
ஜஸ்ட் a ப்ராஜெக்ட் அப்படிதான் பார்க்கணும். அந்த ப்ராஜெக்ட் என்ன தேவையோ, என்ன சென்சிபிலிட்டி தேவையோ அது டெலிவர் பண்ணா போதும். லைக் என்னன்னா இது ஒரு பெரிய டிஃபரன்ஸ் ஐ ஃபீல் இஸ் independent music you can test out your material before, and film music it's only at the audio launch. And there's too much anticipation. And obviously I had like some 10 friends who I played the album to before, you know, releasing the everything. There was feedback as to what they liked, what they didn't like. And the thing was that's the major difference. And then the glamour of cinema, whatever comes attached with it. And another thing is budget. The budget to make a film music is extremely high. So if you are a musician who explores, then it's a different ball game altogether. Like like for me, I'm an adventurer in music. I just like to explore things. So I had like Magudam from Tirunelveli. Like it's a unique art form. Then I had Nayandi from Tanjavur. Then I had like, you know, jazz musicians. I had like just music concrete art producers. I just brought this concoction of things together. One Latin bossa type track, one symphony track with like, see the thing is, never in my life I would have even thought if I'm in independent music I'd do a track with Shakti Sri Gopalan and Chinnapon, a female duet in a symphony track. அட பண்ணி தான் பாப்போமே அப்படிதான்.
அதான் அது கரெக்ட் தான்.
It was really nice. It was really nice. And Shakti is a really good friend. Chinnapon is also a really good friend. So for me it was just like easier. Like it's not every day I get to. It's also very expensive to get both of them and to make the track and to release it. You get it? But in a film, it's like when this grandeur of like, you know, of things, it really works.
Okay.
And I could work with, you know, session musicians. I could work with like, you know, just musicians who I wanted to work with. At the same time, I kept my team intact so that economically we can grow. இப்போ எனக்கு ப்ராஜெக்ட் வந்துச்சுன்னா எனக்கு தான் ப்ராஜெக்ட் வந்துச்சு இல்லை, நம்மளுக்கு ப்ராஜெக்ட் வந்திருக்கு. We are making this thing work.
Okay.
So it was CNR involved in it, Offro involved in it, you know, like Arivu was there, Ghana Muthu was there. People who are associated with me, they were part of the movie. So it made it even more, you know, like a team effort towards something.
Yeah.
A part of Casteless Collective was there. So like for me it was just like I found that hit that balance, and it was really rewarding. And you know, it really it is a different experience. I looked at it as a project, and the thing is I never dreamt of being a music director or anything. My goal is something else. But when it comes to you, when Ranjit offered me this thing, he asked me for a while whether I wanted to do cinema. I was just like refusing. So not refusing, more like there was a little disinterested because I was at the peak of doing Casteless Collective, doing a lot of things around it. So I didn't want to disturb the flow. But when you know, it just landed really well. Timing was perfect. While 1 month before I'm releasing Magalchi, Ranjit offers me like, hey, go do this movie. He didn't even say, "Do you want to do this movie?" He's like, "Go and do it." Then I met Adian the next day. Then 1 week later, I'm recording the song. 1.5 weeks later, I'm recording the song.
Okay.
And I come from India. I zero aesthetic, zero like எப்படி சொல்றது etiquette about cinema. எனக்கு எதுவுமே தெரியாது. Like even first day shoot போகும்போது the music director should be there for the thing. அது கூட நான் ஏன் வரணும்னு கேட்டேன் போன்ல இருந்து.
Okay.
அந்த etiquette கூட எனக்கு தெரியல. ஓ நீனு தான் இன்ட்ரோடியூஸ் ஆற வந்து தொலை அப்படின்னு. So that sort of thing. So it was a very different experience altogether, and you can really create that. And also, it is just one movie. I was also doing another movie on the side, but since it's just one movie, I could like really focus on like grooming the track and like making it like really like without losing my indiness and without destroying the sensibilities what a movie requires. So that was that experience.
Nice. Yeah. I really enjoy the songs. Like Marvelio and all Star Level. Like I was playing the song. I think I was playing in the hall. My sister was just like, "What song is this?" And there's a running joke. Me and my sister were just like, so whatever. When she doesn't know the song, I'll just say, "I'll tell you on your birthday," and I just don't tell her what song it is. Right. So I think then yeah. So,
really?
Yeah, it's a very psychotic sibling thing to do, right? You just like, so you keep listening to the song. She doesn't know what song this is, right? And she'll come Shazam it or ask Google now and what song this is. So she also found it and she's like, look, I'm listening to it. And then I think now it's just playing. I was watching on Netflix a couple of I think 3 days back, and then Adlasa Mavlio came, and then I was listening when I work out and all. And then now she just keeps now it's just playing like two different phones, two different or laptop. That song was on repeat for a while, so it's nice. And I told her I'm talking.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, tell me.
I told her I'm talking to you today. She's like, "Some jealous, damn nice."
Yeah, Maori also. A lot of people actually like when I was making the song, when I made the scratch, I sang the scratch. I usually sing all the scratches, so. I wanted a 50-year-old person to sing, 50-year-old man to sing Maulio Mauli. And the director only said, "Why don't you just sing it? It sounds good." I was like, "Sure," because I was very insecure about singing.
Okay.
But it just worked. I'm a composer, man. Primarily a composer, so I never. I'm very insecure about singing because I didn't. I have a very, very rugged voice, and the thing was, but everybody kept telling me through the years that I sound like Rahman, like A.R. Rahman sir.
Okay.
Even on the comments of Maulio, they'll be like, "I thought Rahman sir sang this song."
Oh, okay. Now, actually, நீங்க சொன்னதுக்கு அப்புறம் someone link.
I don't. You know what the funny thing is? I can't even hear it.
No, but now I can't hear it.
You can't hear it now. What do you
mean? That's definitely a Rahmanist. There.
Yeah, I can't hear the Rahmanist thing in my voice, but it somehow it's there. I don't even know why and how. So that is like that, and for me, like doing a Nilamelam was the most complex track which I made because it starts with Opari, then goes to Terukuthu, then enters Magudam. These are like it's a hybrid folk song. All of these things, like people initially said like, "Oh, Niramalam first half is like really bad," but like I had one Koothu singer's son call me from the middle of nowhere, singing in the only tower in his village. Just like speaking, call me from next to the tower because he couldn't get signal. He was standing in the rain and he called me. He's like, "I really thank you. My father wanted to thank you. எங்க அப்பா ஒரு கூத்து வாத்தியார். நீங்க நிலமெல்லாம் பாட்டு பண்ணது எனக்கு ரொம்ப லைக் எங்க அப்பாலாம் ஒரு மாதிரி ஆயிட்டாரு." Because I was it, and he's a old time கூத்து வாத்தியார். So then you realize how much your music makes sense to the world. So yeah, film experience. I still had myself in it, and the thing is, it was good. It was a good first experience because I was working with Nadian and Ranjit and Kishore and the whole team, Selva and Ruben and all of these guys, and especially like Anandi and Dinesh as well.
Yeah.
In fact, Anandi was very excited
Hmm.
to like Anandi really liked Maud.
Yeah. I
And
think
Hmm.
everybody keeps saying Dinesh is an underrated actor. I think Anandi is such an underrated actor. So yeah.
no, both of them. I mean, they are like both of them are. She's like very sweet, and both of them like Dinesh lives like 2 streets away from my house.
Okay, okay.
So like he's a
Huh.
very nice person and like chilled out person. I've gone to his house and all of those things. Anandi also is very sweet and like very kind. And it was like a good experience for them. It was like a Mauli was the duet for them, like right,
Yeah.
like Mauli and Nirulvanam, 2 songs were the duets for them. So that really, you know, it was a new experience. Getting like really appreciated by two people who are like predominantly working in mainstream.
Very cool.
So that's
So, but
the
like, okay.
cinema experience.
So, but like, what is the dream then? Like, you're saying I'm dream வேற. So like, is it like become like one வேற level indie guy
ஆமா
or
நானும் அதை பத்தி யோசிக்கிறேன்.
Hmm?
what is the dream? Like, what is
What is
everything
the
goes
dream?
right? Where will Tenma be?
Ayo, if I have to tell that to you guys, I have to kill you guys.
ஐயோ
Oh wow.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
அவ்வளோ
But
கரெக்டா போமா எல்லாமே.
இல்ல the thing is இது வரைக்கும் navigate பண்ண வாழ்க்கையில there's a lot of uncertainty and like how I got here itself. I don't want my adventure to end like at a certain language or a certain region, a certain form of music itself. So it is exploring the world. I want to travel the world and like really explore the stories and like learn and grow as a person to because I think the thing is I get bored too easily. So I just and it's a huge this plan. One thing about COVID is that realize it's a planet shutdown, right?
Hmm.
So that means you belong on this planet.
Yeah.
That means you have to go and find out these stories of other people on this planet. You go work with them, and I would like to do more things like that. I'm just keeping the entire ambition vague because I don't want to like ambition is to explore the world in music, and I don't want to keep like
Hmm.
oh I want to get a Grammy, I want to get this, I want to get glass, nothing like that. It's just let it be vague because I've been vague from day one and it has brought me here. So let it be vague and take me anywhere. I like I'm very happy with what I have today. Like I'm very content. So I just wish it just explores more and expands the horizons and which I can like move as an individual and grow. I think end of my life, if I have a horse and if I have like a boat, I'll be really happy.
That's
A
nice.
horse?
Yeah, I really like
Wait,
horses.
horse? குதிரையா?
Gudra, oh.
Wait, like வீடு or குதிரை?
டேய்
Horse
குதிரைடா
and a
tuk
boat.
What? I don't understand. எனக்கு புரியவே மாட்டேங்குது. Why do you want a horse?
I don't even know why. It's just I want.
Wow.
I want to take.
Do you
I want to
ride?
take
This
care
is
of.
a dream that. Oh my god, this is brilliant.
No, just like I want to like like take care of a horse, like all of that. Just like be there for the horse, and then I want to have a boat. I can explore the
Oh,
ocean.
yes.
So I have something for the land and for the ocean.
Nice.
Anyways, there is flight.
செம்மையா இருக்கு.
இது இருந்துச்சுன்னா கொஞ்சம் இதெல்லாம் கொஞ்சம் லைக் போட் மட்டும் தான் கொஞ்சம் கார்பன் ஃபுட் பிரிண்ட் இருக்கும் பட் ஹார்ஸ்ல கார்பன் ஃபுட் பிரிண்ட் இருக்குல்ல ஸோ ரெடியூஸ் as much destruction as I'm doing for this planet. I want to reduce
We'll get
leave
you an
lesser
electric
carbon
boat.
foot.
Don't worry.
Yeah, lesser carbon footprint and live
I mean,
very
you-
relaxed. And I don't mind living in a garden like like Walter's that book. What is that book? Candide. Living in a garden with like a horse and like Bob Marley lived on Hope Street with people coming in. I just want to have food for a lot of people in my house. People should never leave my house hungry. and I want to get into a situation like that, just like a big community house
That's nice.
for artists, and I
Yeah,
mean
yeah,
things like that. I
yeah.
wish
That's
I
my
did
dream also.
That's
things.
cool.
Those are the things.
Yeah, this I
But
can.
what I
This
explore,
very similar.
what I explore, how I explore this world is just the world is your oyster. That sort of thing.
Mm, that's nice.
Mm.
ஸோ அதனால தான் சந்தோஷமா ஜாலியா இருக்கணும்.
Get okay.
குதிரையோட.
குதிரையோட
குதிரையோட ஒரு குதிரை, ஒரு எலக்ட்ரிக் போட்.
போட். மஸ்குக்கு
I
ஃபோன்
mean, on
போட்டு.
nice.
Wow, nice.
அவ்வளவுதான்.
Right. Okay.
But I've never heard this Gudra thing before in my life.
Sounds very Thomas Shelby though. Sounds like something
Somewhat
Thomas
different
Shelby
vibe.
would say.
I don't even know, because I think
very
I don't even know. It's just taking care of an animal always, like they are part of, we coexist. No, they living on this planet with us, and half the time we treat them really like not the citizens of this planet.
Correct.
So I just want to I just want to
actually, yeah, I
coexist with
understand Gudra.
like I want to coexist with a lot of
I-
animals in my life, except snakes,
Oh, yeah,
which I'm like
I want to
really
live in like
scared of.
Oh no, my dream animal is a snake. I want a snake. Ever since I was like a child, I've always wanted a snake.
கழுத்துலாம்
Like
போட்டு வருவியா?
I used to be a snake handler. Huh?
இல்ல கழுத்துலாம் போட்டு சுத்துவியான்னு.
ஏய் கழுத்துலாம் ஏன்னா போடணும், அது பாட்டுன்னு வாழட்டும், நம்ம பாட்டுன்னு வாழ்வோம். But like coexist with the snake will be fun.
The horse, dogs, cats, cows, all of those things, I want to coexist with them in my life. Adi enga where this world takes me to live in that atmosphere, I'll pursue to that.
That's nice. Awesome. Okay.
My God.
வேற எதுவும் பெருசா அவ்வளோ ஆம்பிஷியஸான ஐ வாண்ட் திஸ் திங் ஐ வாண்ட் அதெல்லாம் ஒண்ணுமே கிடையாது. ஜாலியா இருந்தா போதும்.
சரி.
ஒரு ஹேமக்ல ஒரு கிட்டார் வாசிச்சுட்டு
எங்க தரலாம்
குதிரையோட
அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு
இல்ல அப்படியே ஒரு குதிரையோட அப்படியே சில் பண்ணிக்கிட்டு அங்க பக்கத்துல ஒரு see the horizon with like open ocean. It's beautiful, no?
Nice.
சும்மா நம்ம அது படத்திலே பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கோம் தவிர ரியல் லைஃப்ல நம்ம ஆசைப்படுறது இல்லையா?
கரெக்ட்.
தான்.
அது 60 வயசுக்கு அப்புறம் we decide okay we'll go live there. அது பதிலா we just get an apartment here or like individual house where we just like living in a concrete jungle. Chilled out all.
True.
I agree.
I also agree. Very nice. Nice dreams. Okay, before we finish the podcast, any closing thoughts?
நீங்க தான் சொல்லுங்க. என்ன closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts நான் சொல்லணுமா?
நான் என்ன like நான் பேச வேண்டியதெல்லாம் பேசிட்டேன்.
Okay.
எல்லாத்தையும் கவர் பண்ணிட்டேன்.
Okay, then I think guys, this is Tenma. Where can they find you, Tenma? Where and like maybe recommend 3 indie artists people to go listen to. Maybe like use this platform, give them some
இல்ல எவ்வளவு
இல்ல ஜெனரலாவே I would say just go and find independent art like Tamil indie நீங்க type பண்ணாலே you will get lots of things on Google. Okay. Or like Instagram, #Tamil indie. You don't have to go to an artist what I'm going to suggest. It's an adventure which you need to take, because I might suggest something which might I like and which you might not like and which should not turn you off the first time itself. So keep exploring. There'll be like 100 or 200 posts on Instagram or like Google or wherever, or you can like search for me on Instagram. Like everywhere I'm available at Tenma Makes Music. TNMA makes MAKES MUSIC. And I keep sharing stuff which I like. So if you guys like that, you can go follow them and like subscribe to their thing. If not, you can like just search for it. I just don't want to give my opinions on, because the thing is also it's just a lot of independent independent musicians like sort of support me, and I don't want to be partial or prejudiced towards
Mm.
one or two, three individuals. I just want to make sure it's an exploration you take individually and find something which you like. And I would say subscribe to them, go support them. Even a little, like a supportive message would brighten up their day, because um, whatever, just support them. Doesn't matter if everybody likes that person. If you like that person, go and follow them. Just
Mm.
be truthful about how they resonate with you and your life.
Mm.
Don't be pressured, don't have the mob mentality. Avladhan.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, thank you so much, Tanma. It was an awesome
Thank
talking
you
to you.
guys. Thank you,
Uh,
thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you so much.
yeah,
It's been a
it's
dream come
great.
true, Mary.
Yeah, we never expected TKB will do all these things. But really nice for you to come talk to us.
Okay then.
These Higher level. Thank you
Okay
so
then.
much. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Makal. Thank you so much for listening. As usual, Nandri.
Vanakkam.
Right.
Super. See you guys. Bye bye. Be in book.
Bye bye. Be in pub.
Bye-bye.
Nice.
Hi guys, so this episode of TKB is sponsored by Dravidam Official, the official makers of Hindi Theriyada Poda and many more t-shirts. Please use uh, code TKB to get 50 rupees off of your orders. Thank you.